time for some magic. Hey everyone, I'm Klloo. So we're working our way through the advancements of the data pack Runechant. Just making sure everything is working as it should and, well, squashing any bugs we come across. So we're still on Runechanting. Last time we went over runes, how to utilize them, how to make them, and now we're going to focus on the other half of this advancement tab, which is spellcrafting. So creating a spell altar. The first step to unlocking great power, place an enchanting table on each side of an obsidian block before placing an end crystal. So, nice and simple, already started to set that up. We also need a end crystal and we should get the advancements. Perfect. And if I step out of the way, here we go. There's our spell altar. So nice and simple, but a hefty cost. So something you'll have to farm up resources for. But that leads us to two different branches, crafting spell charms and then also unlocking the true potential. Hearts of Affinity may be offered to a spell altar to unlock its crafting potential. Be warned, the more affinities unlocked, the more unstable the spell altar. So what are Hearts of Affinity? Well, if you remember when we unlocked the branch, we actually got one. So using a Wither Skeleton Skull, some Dragon Breath, and then also a Totem of Undying. I'm going to grab a bunch of them, just so I have the extra mats if we want more. All right, same with the bottles of Dragon Breath. So we can place the Wither Skeleton Skull somewhere a little bit far away. It will do. And then throw a Dragon Breath and a Totem of Undying. And ta-da, we get a little message from the first, as well as this pot. And this pot is very useful. This person's also super useful. Right, we actually need them to drop this little eye on top of their head. But, well, that's pretty much just luck-based. So we'll leave them be. But yeah, we can break the pots, and from it, we get ourselves a Heart of Affinity. So this has the power of the deep dark lingers within. Now, there are multiple hearts. So, for instance, if we do it again, this time we actually get a soul heart, right? So there's 12 hearts in total. Each of them can be used to craft different spells, and there's also different mobs that can spawn from the pots. The other way to get the hearts is every now and then, when you're hunting mobs, you'll get one that spawns underground. You get a message in chat, and you can go and find it, splunk for it. Otherwise, this way you will have to deal with these guys straight away, and they are a bit tougher than usual entities. But, so using these hearts, we can then do this unlocking the true potential. So all we have to do is toss it on. Except we do have to remember that the spell altar requires the player to be at least level 8. Now I don't want to go into survival because you're all going to be a pain in the ass. So all we're going to do is set our experience to, I don't know, 100. That should suffice for a long time. We can toss the heart onto here, onto the center, and ta-da, it gets absorbed. And now we have a soul-infused spell altar using the soul heart of affinity. We can take the other heart as well and toss it on. And that's going to get absorbed, and now we have a deep dark one as well. So they're all floating around. You can see what attunements your spell altar has by the different particle effects. But from that, we now have crafting spell tomes. So this is the overview, because this is quite a lengthy process. But each of these steps does detail the main crux of it. So we'll read through them, but this is going to be a pretty wordy episode. In order to craft a spell tome, you must drop an enchanted book, type already, infused paper, membrane, or ancient eye and a heart of affinity onto a spell altar. Each combination will result in a different spell tome. Provide one specific enchanted book, one infused paper, one unique item, and one heart of affinity. So from that, we have our enchanted book selection, our affinity, our paper, and our bindings, or our membrane / ancient eye. So step 1. In order to craft a spell tome, you must rewrite a powerful enchant. Spell tomes may be crafted using Sweeping Edge 3, Impaling 5, Riptide 3, Curse of Binding, or Loyalty 3. Then choosing an affinity, a heart of affinity must be used to attune the spell tome. Each heart will create a different spell. The spell altar must already be attuned to the desired affinity. Then we have rebinding the book. The chosen enchanted book is then remade with infused paper, and the cover rebound using either an ally membrane, vex membrane, or ancient eye. And then from that we have the three different. So vex membrane, vex membrane, ally membrane. Alloys are blue. Need to remember that. So, depending on which material you use for the cover, the outcome will be different. An ally membrane will create a rejuvenating spell tome, ancient eye will create a malevolent spell tome, and the vex membrane will create a amplifying spell tome. So, how do we get the different items? Well, the vex and ally are simple. They're just drops from vexes and allies, similar to with skeleton skulls. And then these guys, as you can see, they have the ancient eyes on them. So, I'm going to do a little bit of farming because they are, well, just random drops. I do have a spreadsheet somewhere, I think, with the items, but we'll leave it. I'll see if I can get the drops at least. And then we'll craft spell tomes. Right, there we go. I've got all three ingredients, vex membrane, ally membrane, and the ancient eye. Whew. And in my journey to get it, I also got some more hearts. So you can go ahead and add some more affinities to this as well. And again, the more you add, the more unstable it gets. So there are side effects to it. For instance, right now we are getting resistance, haste, and speed, and some burst of regeneration. So that's actually good stuff, but you might notice some bad stuff happening as well, right? So they're like mini beacons, depending on which hearts you add, because the hearts are relatively rare to get, so I want some sort of little bonus. But if you end up adding all 12, well, you might be in for a bad time. Anyway, on to the spell tome. So what do we need to craft with again? We need an enchanted book, a heart, some infused paper, and then one of those 3 items. Lucky for us, we have all that, right? I'm creative, so I can get any enchanted book I want, and in here we've got some paper, so it's nice and simple. In fact, I'm going to add these as well, so I have them for later if I ever re-need them. I don't know about the hearts. Yeah, I'll think on it. Anyway, so enchanted books. We will start with Impaling, since this is the nice and simplest to use, so 5 is the level we need, so max level, and then we can add any of these 3 items to it. So we'll start with the Ancient Eye, since that is probably the most straightforward. So Malevolent, Amplifying, and Rejuvenating. So Amplifying is more so buffing, Rejuvenating is more so friendly healing, and then Malevolent is your damaging spells. That's what we really kind of want. Okay, so Enchant Book, Ancient Eye, Paper, and then a Heart. Oh, there we go. Took a sec. I thought I needed the levels. Okay, so we got another big info dump, but it's pretty important because, as you can see, they're lessons in magic, but we have our Malevolent Spell Tome. Cast spells in an arc Nether Affinity. So Nether Affinity from the heart, cast an arc from Impaling, and then Malevolent because we use the Ancient Eye, which I'm glad I actually made copies of because I just realized I believe it. So from that, we have unlocked Impaling, which says using Impaling as the base enchantment will result in the spell tome casting in frontal arc. So as you use the different spell tomes, you'll learn what exactly they do. We also got the crafting and malevolent spell tome, but then these are the important ones. This lessons in magic, which I do think I need to read and probably reword because they appear to be a bit lengthy. In order to cast spell tomes, yeah, so it should probably be just in order to cast or maybe use spell tomes, must be in the player's main hand, and you must have lapis lazuli somewhere in your inventory. When this is performed correctly, you'll notice a new GUI next to the offhand slot. So we have the spell tome, but we have no new GUI. So if we grab out some lapis, what we should see pop up, perfect, is the GUI. We go off the book, and it should fade away. Perfect. We don't have lapis. Ooh. We don't have lapis, and again, it'll disappear. That means we're all set and ready to cast. So, what is the GUI though? Spell tomes enable you to cast in one of 2 ways. You're able to perform a quick cast by left-clicking, or a longer cast by right-clicking. Right-clicking casts do cost lapis, as indicated by Lessons 4. So all spells will consume lapis when cast, depending on the spell's extra charges may be consumed for quick cast, and differing charging times will occur for normal casts. Additionally, some spell modifiers will consume experience when cast. So, on the GUI, we have 2 little icons. We have our book, and then we have this little bar. The bar is your quick cast, which we can't use, and then left click, I'm trying to right click, right? So we can't use it right now because it hasn't recharged, or this spell tome doesn't actually have the ability. So depending on the modifiers, you'll get more charges, and that will enable you to use those. So depending on heart, depending on the enchantment, depending on the 3rd item, one of the membranes or ancient eye, as you can see, yeah, this is a very, very big system that even myself, I lose track of. Anyway, let's just cast magic, right? So if we hold down the right click, we charge, and then we shoot a spell. Nice and simple. It's pretty basic because all we are doing is casting a straight line, and we have fire because it's the Nether Affinity. If we grab out a trusty husk, we should be able to utilize it and see what exactly it does. And as you can see, we are using lapis every time we do cast. So hopefully he doesn't walk away too far and we can hit him. There you go. Ignited on fire. Pretty simple, right? Nice basic spell. There are lots of ways to modify this and improve it further. Although that obviously did a hefty amount of damage, considering he ended up getting KO'd from the fire damage. So, just for the record, right? Let's do a little bit of math. There are 5 enchanted books you can use. There are 12 hearts you can use, and there are 3 different special items you can use. Yeah, that is a lot of spell books. That then gets even more complex when we jump down here to crafting spell charms. So spell charms are extra modifiers to the spell books, and there are a bunch of them that you can craft and unlock. So it says, throw a name tag and enchanter's crystal into an enchanter's crystal to create a blank spell charm. What exactly are enchanter's crystals? Well, they are rare drops that you can get from doing different things, or, most useful, you can get them from sniffers. In fact, I have added a bunch of drops to sniffers. So sniffers are actually super useful, and you want them to find a lot of different items. Because again, a big thing I want to do is make a lot of the less utilize parts of Minecraft, actually utilize, although we're not going to wait around. We're just going to go loot, give us loot from, what's the table? It's still entity, I believe, right? No, I'm using my own, I think. Yeah, maybe. Let me look it up. Okay, there we go. So it's gameplay sniffer digging. So, as you can see, we already got a new item. Budding Vine. That's not what we're after. We want that Enchanter's Crystal, Malignant, and Epic. So there are various different ones we can get. Budding Vine. Come on, give me the good stuff. Roots. Nope. They're not what we want. Enchanter's Crystal's great. There we go. We got the lowest variant. So we got Momentum and Uncommon. We will make duplicates, just so I can utilize it. And then we also wanted a name tag. So by dropping one of each of these into our Enchanter's Crucible, we can create our spell charms. So 1, 2, and ta-da, we get a bunch more information because again, this system is massive. So from that, as you can see, we unlocked, yeah, way too much for me to go over like that. We'll go down here. So we unlock basic spell charms, as you can see, according to which hearts we actually have unlocked. So because I have Glacial in my inventory, Enchanted, Nether, Ancient, Deep, Dark, and Sky, they've unlocked. Pool, I don't know why it's appeared, interestingly. But then we also unlock some basic keywords and some other keywords depending on what exactly we have achieved throughout the game. Because again, there are tons. There are 4 per and 12. So again, 4 by 12. Chuck on the spell tomes. Massive, massive system. I just don't know how to really emphasize that. But yeah, so actually I know what this is. This is basic. Why is this not unlocked? That should be unlocked. It should just be a normal icon. This is the affinity list. So here it says to add any of the connected charms of this advancement to a spellbook, the spell altar must be attuned to this affinity. So for instance, if you want to add Amp or Stalk, you need to have a spell altar attuned to Deep Dark, which we do. This one should say nothing, right? It should say affinity list or something like that. So I do need to fix that up, why exactly that hasn't unlocked. But here we go. Utilizing spell charms. Use an anvil to inscribe a spell onto a spell charm. Spell charms can then be combined with spell tomes at a spell altar to add the named effect. Yeah. Okay, let me fix up some of this and then we'll go over it a bit more. We'll craft some pretty special spells. Okay, had to make a little tweak, but hopefully everything is a little bit clearer now. Also fix up the advancements. So we now added to this. So blah, 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 add a spell tome to add the named effect by consuming an empty slot. So that was something I missed out on, right? So I had messed around with the system and come up with a upgradable way. So there are ways to gain empty slots, but the spellbooks are meant to start with an empty slot as well. So we'll make another one, go Impaling again, 5, we'll go same thing, Heart of Fire, Ancient Eye, and I still have the infused paper? Yep, perfect. All right, so we'll craft. And that'll take a second to combine. Perfect. And now we have our Malevolent spell tome, but it does start with an empty slot. So the spell tomes you can gain up to 5 slots. For other items, you can only gain up to 4 because they won't start with anything. But the other change was the name tag should now grant the correct thing. So if we toss that in, if I can aim correctly, that and that. Yeah, perfect. We get the spells with no affinity, which is what we wanted. And then I also did tweak the wording for the info on casting spells. Only slightly, but it should be a little bit clearer now. Okay, so how exactly do we attach these spells? Well, we'll go with... what should we go with? Push, pull, gnaw? We'll go with gnaw, okay? So to add any of the connected charms, you must have it attuned. So we need to attune it to Ancient, which it is not attuned to. We can go ahead and do that. Drop the heart on. Cool, it's attuned to Ancient. So the first step was an anvil. We have to rename the spell charm to whatever keyword we're going after. So again, it's gnaw, oh, not freeze, gnaw. So down here, use an anvil to inscribe a spell onto a spell charm. Hopefully that's clear enough. So we toss one in, and we call it gnaw. Take it out, and now we simply just drop the spell charm and our spell tome on one another, and they get fused together. Apparently not. Also what? Go away. You're annoying. Ah, God. Yeah, so they have new skills as well. As you can see, they make quite the mess, but, well, it's nice to have suspicious sand, no? Okay, let me figure out what went wrong. Okay, scratch that. I can't just add stuff on the fly. Nope. So I'd come up with a very complex system of the way I utilize empty slots, right? That is nice, but no room for alternation. So let's start again. We will craft our tome once more. Get ourselves our impaling book. 1, 2, 3. That was the wrong heart. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give it a few seconds to craft. Get all this junk in the meantime. Okay. So, oh god, has that empty slot, which is an issue actually. I need to delete that. I need to backtrack everything I've just done. All right, so Gnaw is going to consume the empty slot but not grant it. And the reason for that is the way the system is meant to work is we come over to this forge over here and we can use an ancient eye to actually grant an empty slot. Right, so we do that and that. And what actually happens is it gets 2 tags, it gets the empty slot and that empowered. And because I am checking using a system of 3, which I don't know how to explain it. I'm really bad at explaining things, right? As evident by how off course this video has gotten. So just, yeah, it's necessary. I can't just add an empty slot. So none of the spellbooks will start with empty slots, but it's fine. You'll still have tons of spell. But now we have Charm, Gnaw, as well as that, again, Empowered Ancient Eye. We summon a Husk. Well, I hate having a messy inventory too. And we cast now. You don't move. Right? You heard the chomp. You didn't see the chomp because you got ignited. Right? So now Gnaw is causing him to get bits by an Evoker Fang. See if we can see it on top. Fire's the issue. No, but you can hear the chomp and you can see the particle effects, the crit particle effects. So basically, they add different things to the spells. Nice and simple. So there are 4 per 12, 4 per 13 actually, right? So what is that? It's 52. So there's 52 different charms, and you'll be able to add 4. 4 to a spellbook, not 5, right? So scratch what I said before. Yeah, this is gone awry, but again, mainly doing this for bug testing to make sure the pack's working. And to make sure I don't mess stuff up and fix up advancements. So yeah. Oops. So yeah.